Welcome. Let's get into this. I'm going to do a little bit of reading in this book here, read a couple passages and comment on it and tell you what I like about it. And you can leave your comments also. If you're into this at all, like and subscribe. More subscriptions means more I can reach a wider audience, and that means I can continue doing this, hopefully. So let's get into this. So this book is really, really amazing. I listened to it on Audible a couple times. It was really good. It's by Sri M. It's Apprenticed to a Himalayan Master, a yogi's autobiography. So it's a guy that literally lived in the Himalayas with a yogi master. He had a master, like a teacher, a real yogi teacher for several years. And it's a wild page turner. It's like very fantasy. It's way out there, but amazing, awesome. So let's read it. Let's read a page and see where this takes us. So I think this is episode 5, maybe. Not sure, but something like episode 5. So let's get into this and like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll read a page. Let's do this. The young yogi, confident that he had done the right thing and having no remorse whatsoever, climbed down to a lovely spot on the banks of the river and chanted the appropriate mantras for purification. Had a dip in the extremely cold waters of the sacred river. He came out of the water and rubbed himself dry with the only towel that he possessed. Sitting on a rock, he thanked the sacred river for purifying his body and mind, and was about to start his climb to the cave when he heard a familiar sweet voice of his master calling him, "Madhu." From behind a rocky ledge appeared his great master, Sri Guru Babaji. So, Babaji, I think there's a few different Babajis. There's like a Babaji, and then there's like Babaji's master is also named Babaji. I'm not sure which one is which, but in the book Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda, there's a picture of Babaji, one of the Babajis. So I don't know if it's this Babaji, but it's like maybe it's his master, or I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's one of the Babajis. Anyway, let's get back into this. Where were we? A dip in the extremely cold waters. Yes. It looked as if the darkness of the approaching dusk was suddenly lit by his glowing presence. Tall, fair, with almost a European complexion, Babaji had long flowing brown hair and very little facial hair. He looked around 16 years of age. The well-built, unadorned, muscular body was bare except for a white loincloth. He was barefoot and walked with great grace and dignity. His large meditative eyes fell on his young disciple Madhu. "Madhu, what a terrible thing you have done, my boy," he said softly. Instantly, the gravity of what he had done a few minutes ago hit the young yogi like a lightning. It should be a lightning bolt. But it's a different language, right? Probably written in Hindi originally, I'm guessing. Who knows? Or one of the languages from the subcontinent of India. Babaji was all Babaji was all he could utter. Babaji! Before breaking into tears and prostrating at his feet. Prostrating means like bowing, but laying on the ground with your face on the ground and like your hands kind of like this and just laying, prostrating. It's a common thing in the yogi world, but real yogi, not like not the new yogis like American yogis, but original yogis, like real yogis. They bow to everything, especially gurus and nature elements, and they do full prostration, which is they lay totally flat on the ground with their face on the ground. Also, Tibetan monks, Tibetan Buddhist monks do the same, do similar, a lot of similar practices. So Tibetan Buddhism is probably like 1/3 yogi or tantra. Tantra is similar to, again, not the Western tantra, but real original, like 200-300 years ago, it was a big religion in India, the subcontinent. Tantra, it's similar to yoga. So Tibetan Buddhism is, it's like 1/3 yoga or 1/3 tantra. They're kind of the same thing. So they have a lot of the same practices. And of course, Tibet is in the Himalayas, right? Or around that area. Tibet, yeah, it's in the Himalayas, I think. Like the movie 7 Years in Tibet, that was pretty cool with Brad Pitt. That was cool. Yeah, very cool. Where were we? Let's get back into this book. Read another few words, shall we? Yes. Madhu, what a terrible thing you have done, my boy, he said softly. Instantly, the gravity of what he had done a few minutes ago, hit the young yogi like a lightning. Babaji was all he could utter before breaking into tears and prostrating at his feet. Control yourself, my boy, and come. Let us climb up to your cave. They climbed up swiftly, reaching the cave, and sat down facing each other. Haven't I always told you to think before you speak about what you are going to say? To whom and under what circumstances? You could have had a little more patience and listened carefully to what the old man was trying to say. Is a holy man judged by his outward appearance, like my great disciple 𝐀𝐻𝐭 said? Would you give more importance to the scabbard than to the sword? Good point. You have hurt and pained a great devotee of the Lord. All the fruits of your many years of austerities you have destroyed in a flash. A minute of kindness is more precious than 100 years of intense austerities. Oh, what a line, eh? What a line. That almost reminds me of, what was that Disney movie, Beauty and the Beast? Of the old, the brat, the prince king brat turns away the old lady, and then she curses him to become a monster, or to look like a monster. It's like, what's that guy's name? Ralph Lauren. Someone asked him, like, what are his favorite things in life, or something like that. One of his answers was kindness. And I remember reading that and just being like, what an answer, kindness. Like, and it's such a simple thing, you know? But it's in this day and age, in the hustle and the bustle, we forget about it. We forget that it's a virtue and that it could be one of the most important things in the world. Like just kindness, just simple kindness, What was that? What's one? I'm going to read that sentence again. A minute of kindness is more precious than 100 years of intense austerities. Or you could say, instead of the word austerities, you could say sadhana or practices, meditation. You have to compensate for it. By then, the young disciple had controlled himself and become calm. Whatever you say, my master, I am prepared to do, he said. As for the kafir, said Babaji, I shall take care of his spiritual needs. You have arrested your spiritual progress by your arrogant behavior. And the only way to get it back on track is to go through the same or similar pain and privation that the fakir went through. Prepare to do the last kriya. Your last kriya. Total 𝐀𝐻𝐭 mudra. I'm not sure what that is exactly. I think it's where a yogi purposefully leaves their body. I think. Or he's about to do that. I think. And let your prana exit through the ajin center. Ajin chakra, I think. We shall then guide your soul to be born in such circumstances that you go through pain similar to that suffered by the poor man. Do it now. So he's being guided to reincarnate into a life situation where he's going to go through similar life situations and pain and misery. And so the guy that's getting reincarnated, this young yogi, is, I do believe, 3M. His next incarnation, this current life, he's alive right now, that's 3M. So his previous one was, he was an arrogant young yogi with Babaji as his master, and interesting story. I like it. What do you guys think? Or sorry, what do you think? Leave your comments down below and like and subscribe. Where did we leave off here? Do it now. Your wish has always been a command for me, Babaji, and I will do so immediately. But I have a last wish. Express it, my son, said Babaji, his voice breaking with deep emotion and hands clasping in prayer. The young disciple said, Master, I love you with all of my heart. Promise that you will not let go of me, that you will keep track of me and not let me be carried away by the whirlpool of worldly thoughts and concerns. I beg you to please promise me that you will watch over me and bring me back to your blessed feet. That I promise, said the great teacher, tender compassion tangibly flowing from his glittering eyes. My foremost disciple, 𝐀𝐻𝐨𝐮𝐭, I don't know, whom you have not met, shall come to you quite early in your future life. He shall be your guide. At some point in your future life, you will also see me and talk to me as you are doing now. But now you must hurry, for this right time for this is the right time to go. By then the sun had set, and the beautiful silvery moon parted the clouds, to bear witness to the sacred play that was being enacted. The young disciple, with tears in his eyes, prostrated once more at his guardian's feet. Babaji stretched forth his right hand, placed it on his head, blessed him, and instantly merged into the light. Madhu, now alone, adopted the lotus posture, took a few deep breaths, and performed the 𝐀𝐻𝐨𝐮𝐭 mudra. I don't know what that is. The mudra is like a hand position. Goes like that, or it could be like that or something, right? I don't know what it is. They have different mudras. It could also be a body posture, I think. Not sure. Different hand mudras have different effects, right? Which forcibly stops the breathing. Okay, so it's probably like a Jawandhara Bandha lock, chin lock, with this chakra. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know, but it's curious. I'm curious. Lotus posture, breaths, mudra, which forcibly stops the breathing process. Concentrating on the center between the eyebrows, shook off his body. Yeah, so yogis do that sometimes. That is the end of the story that my master Maheshwaranth told me. Okay, so he's telling a story that his current guide is telling him in this book. And I'm sure it's about him, right? Crazy. So he shook off his body. So yogis, kind of high level yogis or whatever, they can, if they want, they can concentrate and they just leave their body, right? There's, I think there's different versions of it, like how they do it. And like, if you leave through this center, that's like the natural healthy way. Like when you die and say you've spent, half an hour meditating every day for several years, when you die, most of your energies will leave through this chakra. And if you haven't meditated, then your energies will leave through a lower chakra. And it affects kind of, your next birth. And I don't know. I don't know what it does. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard that. But I think there's different ways for yogis to consciously choose to leave their body. Not just through this chakra, but through like all the chakras at once. Just, I think there's different versions of how you leave the body. Some are more like higher master ones, but in this book he was a graduated yogi. He spent 10 years with a master, so who knows. But the main thing is that, yeah, yogis can choose to they take their spirit and they leave their body. And I've heard of several doing that. Sometimes they do it by accident. If you're in deep, deep meditation, you don't have certain safeguards around you, or you're wearing certain safeguards or things, you can accidentally just pop out and you're done, Let's what do you guys think? What do you think? Leave your comments below. A couple more sentences, maybe another page. Let's do it. I'm into it. Like, I'm into this, so one more page at least. Let's do it. Chapter 2, a visit from the Himalayan master. Now it is time to tell you about the rather strange manner in which my guru contacted me. reestablished the link. I was a little more than 9 years old at the time when my father, mother, younger sister, my maternal grandmother, and myself lived in a fairly large house on Ambajuvilism Road. The locality was Vachior. I don't know where that is or how to pronounce it. Forgive me for pronouncing a lot of these words incorrectly. A quiet place, though not very far from the main thoroughfare. The house was called Pavevidu, and my father paid what in those days was considered a pricely rent for RS 40 per month. RS, I don't know what RS stands for. Rupees? I don't know. RS. There was very little space between the front door and the gate, which opened on the road. But our backyard was quite spacious, about half an acre, filled with many coconut and jackfruit trees. Oh, have you ever had jackfruit? It's amazing. I've only ever seen it in town here, like, I don't know, a handful of times, and I had it and it was great. It sounds funny, but it tastes kind of like a juicy fruit gum. It tastes like very similar to juicy fruit gum if you've never had it. That's the flavor, juicy fruit. And it's like a large melon with like spikes on it. It's common in like Brazil and India, I do believe. Like around the part of the world that's the hottest. The hot strip that goes all the way around the world or whatever. The hottest areas, that's where jackfruit grows. Jackfruit trees and flowering shrubs. My mother also kept hens in the courtyard, and it was a delight to see the mother hens walking along with their fluffy chicks dyed pink. So they dye them pink so that they get stolen less from the coyotes or whatever, so they can find them or something. I don't know. This was to prevent them from being carried away by kites. I don't know, kites. I don't know what that means. Like birds? Kitties? Oh, kitties? I don't know. Anyway, we also had a couple of goats. My father, in addition to being a building contractor, he did some kind of businesses with waste paper to stock stacks of waste paper collected from printing presses. The big shed was built on one side in the backyard. This was a favorite haunt for me and my sister, who was 2.5 years younger. Here, we played hide and seek or just sat on the sacks and had great fun inventing new words and nonsense rhymes. A little more reading, shall we? I think we shall. The compound wall that surrounded the courtyard was very low, barely 3 feet in height, and was built of mud, almost the center of the courtyard, from the branch of an old jackfruit tree. Oh, it reminds me. I know this guy from Brazil, and he said when he was a kid, he built a tree house in a jackfruit tree. Very cool. And he also has diabetes, I do believe. And I was like, it all makes sense. I was joking, of course. Oh, and mangoes too. Yeah, so India's mangoes, jackfruits, and bananas are everywhere. They're like just everywhere. And same in Brazil. Anyway, it's funny because like that fruit is so exotic here and it's so hard to get. I've only seen it in person in my life like 3 times. And I got it each time I've seen it. Anyway, it's so good. Sometimes I had jackfruit a couple times and it was a little bit bland, but sometimes I had it and it was sweet and it was really good. I think it's one of those things where you got to be in that area of the world to like have it when it's ripe, or else it doesn't taste right. You know, it's like if they pick it when it's not ripe and then send it to another area of the world, you know, and gets there 2 weeks later to ripen, it doesn't taste right. I think it's one of those types of fruits. I do believe. I could be wrong though. Who knows, right? If you guys know anything about the jackfruit, put it in the comments below. We enjoyed swinging on it, and were often joined by children from our neighborhood who would easily climb over the low compound wall. There was also another jackfruit tree, a larger and perhaps older one, which stood at the far end of the courtyard on the right hand corner. This was the tree under which the Dharma that changed my life completely took place. Both my sisters and I went to the Holy Angels Covenant. I'm pretty sure that's like a Christian place, which was walking distance from home. As soon as we came back from school, it was our unusual practice to wash up, eat something light, and play in the backyards till sunset. At sunset, we were supposed to wash our faces, hands, and feet and sit for a short Arabic and Urdu prayer with our grandmother. After that, we would finish our school homework and have dinner. Sometimes my grandmother would tell a few stories from the Arabian Nights. Ooh, Arabian Nights. Or her or her own experiences, and then off to bed. That particular day, my sister, who was more studious than me, no wonder that she became a senior Indian Administrative Services officer, cut short her playtime and went back into the house earlier than usual. I was wandering around the courtyard doing nothing in particular. Dusk was not far from setting in. The light had mellowed to a soft golden yellow. I thought I would go home too, and perhaps find some snacks in the kitchen. So I turned towards the house. However, for reasons I cannot explain to this day, I turned instead and walked towards the jackfruit tree. At the far end of the courtyard, there was someone standing under the tree and was gesturing for me to come forward. The normal instinct that would have been to bolt, but instead I was surprised to find I felt no fear whatsoever. A strange eagerness to go closer to the stranger filled my heart. Babaji, I'm guessing, his previous yogi master, guru in his past life. I quickened my steps and was soon standing in front of him. Now I could see clearly. The stranger was tall, extremely fair, and his well-built, muscular body was bare except for a piece of white glowing cloth that was wrapped around his waist and reached just above his knees. He was also barefoot. I was intrigued by this strange man who had slightly brown and thick matted long hair gathered over his head in a big knot that looked like a tall hat. So that's like a yogi like wrap. They like wrap it and wrap it up like their dreads. He wore large brown, probably copper earrings and carried a black polished water pot in his right hand. By far the most striking of his features were his eyes, large, brownish black, glittering and overflowing with love and affection. Oh yeah, that's like a Yogananda Paramahansa thing. Like his eyes are just, you look at them, they say things. You know, gurus eyes, they talk to you. They usually are saying like love and peace and joy, and they portray it. You know, Yogananda talks about that actually in his autobiography. Brownish black, glittering and overflowing with love and affection. He put his right hand on my head without any hesitation, and his kind voice said in Hindi, "Kach which means, "Do you remember anything?" I understood the stranger's words perfectly, for although our family had settled in Kerala for generations, he spoke with particular dialect of Urdu, known as Dakhinhi, very similar to Hindi. Nay, no, I said. Then he then removed his hand from my head and stroked the middle of my chest with it, saying, "Badmen malum no jaiga, abvapa garjao." Jao. Jao. I think it means go. "You will understand later. Go home now." I still did not understand what he was trying to convey, but instantly obeyed the command to go back home. Jao. As I hurried back, I felt as if his touch had made my heart lighter. Reaching the last step to the rear entrance of the house, I turned around to have a last glimpse of the stranger under the jackfruit tree, but he was gone. There was no one there. Let's wrap it up there. Like and subscribe if you're into this, and there'll be another episode coming down the pipeline. Have a good one. Peace. Cheers.